When you think about ancient texts, it's easy to picture them just gathering dust on a shelf, right? Kind of stuck in the past. But what if one of them is actually a user manual for right now? Today, we're going to unpack 10 super practical lessons from the Quran's Surah Al-Baqarah. Seriously, think of them as life hacks, a way to upgrade your daily routines, your relationships, and your overall peace of mind.
And I love how the author of our source material, Tasnim, frames this. It's not a lecture, it's not a sermon, it's a shared journey. So this is your personal invitation to just come along, explore these ideas with an open mind, and see what might actually fit into your life, maybe even starting today.
So, what's our roadmap for this whole thing? Well, we've broken it down into 3 parts. First up, we're going to look inward at how to guard our own inner world. Then we'll zoom out and talk about how we navigate our communities. And finally, we're going to dig deep to strengthen those core beliefs that kind of hold everything else together.
All right, let's dive right into part 1, guarding your inner world. This is all about building up our defenses, creating that mental and spiritual fortress to protect our peace from all the noise of modern life, both inside and out. Okay, first things first, let's ask a question that honestly we all need to think about. Just think about your phone for a second. The endless scrolling, the news alerts, the videos. Is all that stuff you're consuming actually making you a better, wiser, more peaceful person? Or is it just feeding your anxiety and kind of tearing you down?
So, the lesson here, coming straight from the Quran, is pretty straightforward. Consciously avoid the stuff that's destructive. So, step 1 is to do a quick audit. Just for one day, pay attention. After you watch a video or scroll through a feed, just ask yourself, do I feel better or worse? Do I feel energized or totally drained? And then step 2 is where you actually do something about it. It might mean unfollowing that gossip account or muting that one person who's always so angry. You have to be the gatekeeper of your own mind. Now let's bring the focus a little closer to home. Let's talk about our most important relationships. The source points out something really interesting, that destructive forces, well, they often take aim right at the heart of the home, specifically the bond between spouses. So the question is, how do we build a shield around that? The guidance gives us 2 really powerful, super practical steps. First, a daily spiritual practice, reciting the Muawwidhatayn. That's the last 3 short, powerful chapters of the Quran. Think of it like putting on spiritual armor every single morning. Second, and this is so important for any relationship, don't let disagreements simmer. Deal with them quickly. An argument that you let fester overnight can seriously become a breeding ground for much bigger problems down the line. All right, for our last lesson in this section, let's just get real for a moment. I mean, picture it. You get that awful phone call or that email that makes your stomach drop. That wave of anxiety just washes over you. In that split second, what's your first instinct? Who or what is your first call? The key here is all about the sequence of how you react. Before you grab your phone to frantically text a friend or start doom scrolling for answers, the first step is to just pause, turn inward, center yourself with a phrase that means, God is enough for me, and He is the best one to manage my affairs. You anchor yourself in that trust first. And then, of course, you take practical action. Call the doctor, consult the lawyer. This isn't about doing nothing. It's about grounding your action in faith. Okay, so we've done some work on our inner world. Now it's time to shift gears and head into part 2. We're going to look outward and figure out how to engage with the people and the world around us with confidence and, just as importantly, with kindness. Oh man, I think we've all been there, right? You open up social media and boom, there it is. Another angry, endless comment war. Some internet fought-wit battle where everybody's an expert. Just think, how much of our precious energy and peace gets sucked away by these pointless digital fights? The advice on this is just so freeing. Step 1 is simple, but it's powerful. Just don't engage. You really don't have to jump into every single fight you're invited to. Protect your peace and focus on your own journey. And then step 2 gives you this beautiful, graceful way out. If someone comes at you criticizing your personal practice, you don't have to get defensive. A calm, simple, God is the ultimate judge, ends the conversation with respect and keeps your inner peace intact. This next one asks us to look in the mirror at our own sacred spaces. A mosque, a church, a synagogue, they're supposed to be sanctuaries, right? A safe haven for absolutely everyone. But if we're being really honest with ourselves, do they always feel that way for every person who walks through the door? And this is where the lesson puts the responsibility right back on us, on each and every one of us. Step 1 is to just be aware. What's the vibe at your local place of worship?
Is it really open to all, or does it feel like a private club for one group? And step 2 gets even more personal. It's about checking your own behavior, right? Could a dismissive glance, a whispered comment, or your closed-off circle of friends be the very thing that makes someone feel like an outsider? The goal is to be a source of warmth. I think everyone knows this feeling. You're at work, you're with friends, and you feel that little nudge, that subtle pressure to just laugh along with a joke that doesn't sit right with you, or to nod along with something that clashes with your deepest values, all because you don't want to rock the boat. The guidance here is so clear. It's all about integrity. Step 1, don't water down your core principles just to fit in with whatever's trending this week. And step 2 shows us how to do it with grace. It isn't about being loud or preachy about it. It's about having a quiet confidence in who you are. Respecting others for sure, but without feeling like you need to copy them to be accepted. True confidence is quiet. All right, so we've looked inward, we've looked outward. Now for part 3, our final section, we're going right to the foundation. This is all about building that solid bedrock, that unshakable core of belief that supports everything else we do. So to really get our next lesson, there's this key concept we need to talk about. It's called nosk. Now, the best way to wrap your head around this isn't to think of it as a contradiction, but more like a divine software upgrade. The idea is that as humanity evolves, God provides updated guidance that's perfectly suited for that new era. And what's so cool is that we can take this whole upgrade mindset and apply it directly to our lives. So, step 1, when life throws a curveball, you lose a job, you start a new relationship, try to see it as part of a divine plan to upgrade your own growth. And step 2 is all about humility. It's about avoiding that dangerous phrase. But that's how we've always done it. We have to stay open to learning a better, more authentic way. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about our relationship with the Quran itself. Because there's a huge difference between just reading the words on a page and what's called its true recital. The slide here nails it. It's the difference between just staring at notes on a page versus actually hearing a breathtaking piece of music. So how do we start hearing that music? Well, 2 key steps. First, trying to learn some basic tajweed. That's the art of proper Arabic pronunciation. And it's actually important because a small change in sound can completely change a word's meaning. And second, and this is huge, is to make a real effort to understand what you're reciting. Don't just let the words wash over you. Reflect. Even if it's just 1 verse a day, take a moment to ask, okay, what does this actually mean for me? That's how it goes from ink on a page to living guidance. Wow. This next visual is, well, it's probably the most sobering one we'll look at. That single number, 1. It's a stark reminder of a core belief. When it comes to the day of judgment, every single soul stands alone, responsible for their own file, their own deeds. There's no hiding in a crowd. And that brings us to, really, the ultimate lesson in taking ownership. Step 1 is a critical reality check. You can't ride on the coattails of your parents' piety or your family's good name. Your salvation isn't something you inherit. And step 2 uses this amazing legal analogy. You are actively preparing your own case file for the court of Allah. Every kind word, every honest deal, every act of patience, that's another document you're adding to your own defense. So, here we are. We've taken this incredible journey from our own inner world, through our communities, and all the way down to our core beliefs. We've covered 10 powerful lessons, but knowledge without action is just trivia. So here's the real question, the only one that really matters. Looking back on all this, what's the one single step you're going to try? Not tomorrow, not next week, just one small thing, today. Because that, right there, is where every real transformation begins.